When exactly is the PlayStation 5 releasing? What year? 2019 or 2020? You have people in both camps laying out good arguments on why it could be one or the other. And recently, I've been in the camp that has been saying it's 2019 for sure. It just feels right. PSX was canceled. The exclusives that they have left are going to be coming out really soon, and then they can show off PlayStation 5 stuff. I felt like 2019 was the right time for Sony. But after reading this job description and thinking about it, I think this is the best evidence that we have for the PlayStation 5 releasing in 2020, and I wanted to talk about it. What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. And it really does seem like next generation is going to be an all-out war. You have Sony with what they're doing with their heavy-hitting exclusives, currently the king of gaming, well, at least console-wise. You have Nintendo tearing up the charts with the Switch. You have Microsoft spending money like a madman, hiring 600 game developers, buying all these studios to right the ship there. Game Pass and a whole bunch of, xCloud getting into the streaming service for next gen. And then you have Google looming in the corner about to pounce. It really does feel like next generation is going to be an all-out war. And which company is going to make the first mistake is probably going to be, spell doom for them. But PlayStation is the market leader. They can kind of do what they want, and I've been thinking for a while, you know what, maybe they'll get out before everybody, release in 2019, convert all those PlayStation 4 fans into PlayStation 5 customers, and just enjoy another generation where they're number one. I thought they would release in 2019, but after seeing this information, this job description from LinkedIn, I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit. Now I'm leaning more towards 2020, and I'll explain why. So Sony posted this job on LinkedIn, and it's discovered by a whole bunch of different people looking for information about next-gen consoles and what Sony and Microsoft are doing. And it's for a senior product manager, campaign management. And I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, well, what does this exactly have to do with the PlayStation 5 Rand, and why do you think now it's coming in 2020? Well, let's read the description, right? It says here, at PlayStation, we are working at the frontiers of immersive experiences for our users. We are looking for an product lead to join our intelligence platform group. As part of this hands-on position, you would work across partners, product, and engineering, and contribute to development and growth of the PlayStation intelligence platform. Well, that doesn't sound like much, right? Well, you'd be wrong, because Sony actually removed a sentence that actually had to do with next generation. But as everybody knows, if you post something on the internet, someone might take a screenshot, and that's exactly what a bunch of websites did. I'm going to go over here to WCCF Tech, and they have a screenshot, and you can see it's the same exact description, but there's something at the end. What does it say? You will own the roadmap for next generation PlayStation campaign. So it's interesting. So they are hiring a senior product manager that is going to own the roadmap for the PlayStation 5 marketing campaign. And when you look at the responsibilities, this person has to analyze industry trends and competition to contribute towards product strategy for the PlayStation 5 campaign, translate project strategy into an executable roadmap, collaborate with customers, stakeholders, design and consumer research, blah, blah, blah. You can read it all for yourself. I have it linked in the description. Now, the interesting thing is, this was posted only 3 days ago, right? A lot of people assume the PlayStation 5 is coming out roughly a year from now. But how is that possible when the person who would be in charge of the entire marketing roadmap hasn't even been hired yet? So with how these big companies work, as I have friends who've gotten hired at Xbox, is they're going to obviously have a phone call with these people, invite the ones out that they are really interested in, have a round of interviews, and then eventually they'll get hired. It's a long process. It doesn't happen overnight like it does at McDonald's or KFC or some low entry position. The fact that this was posted October 14th probably means the person they pick won't even start working on this job until the new year, most likely sometime in mid-January. He then would have to build a team and figure out what exactly needs to be done. And you have people talking about a PlayStation meeting in February or March of next year, but the guy in charge of the roadmap, like I said, the part that was actually removed here, who would own the roadmap for the next generation PlayStation campaign, is only going to be starting working there at the beginning of next year. There's no way he'll have the time or the team built to come up with a great solution for it. And this is Sony. This is a billion-dollar company, and the PlayStation is their flagship product. Everything has to be perfect surrounding it. I just can't see a scenario where Sony half-asses things, tries to rush it to market in 2019 when it's not necessarily ready, hires a guy on short notice, and then gives him only a couple months to come up with a marketing campaign for the system. Now, they're going to give the time, they're going to give the guy exactly what he needs. They're going to time to build his team, analyze exactly what's going on, talk to all their partners, which is going to be a lengthy process. You got to talk to your GameStops and your Best Buys, your third-party partners like Epic, Rocksteady, Rockstar, all that stuff. You see exactly how far in development your own first-party studios are, build a campaign around it, the whole marketing slogan, how things look, product. It's a huge, lengthy, and involved process. And I can't imagine Sony is going to be like, yep, you only got a month to figure this out because we're launching this year. No. So to me, this guy doing what he needs to be done, because remember, he's going to own the roadmap for the PlayStation campaign for the PlayStation 5. So he's basically going to be the boss. He's going to spend almost the entirety of next year coming up with that strategy, and then in 2020, possibly execute that. Now, of course, this doesn't necessarily rule out a early 2020 release, because I could easily see the PlayStation 5 releasing in March. The Nintendo Switch showed everybody that you can release a system in that time frame. But I mean, it still can come out in November of 2020. That's when I expect the next Xbox to come out. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Is it realistic to expect Sony to hire this guy, post this job notice 2 days ago, hire him at the beginning of next year, and then with no planning whatsoever, have a PlayStation meeting in New York announcing the PlayStation 5? Or is it more realistic that they're going to hire the guy, he's going to start next year, plan this out, carefully plan the reveal event, what you're going to show at E3, go around and talk to all the partners so everything is perfect, because Sony doesn't want to make a mistake like they did with the PS3, and they talked about that, haven't they, recently? I remember Yoshida saying that they learned from the failures of the PS3. Everything's got to be meticulously planned and gone over. I just can't see a scenario where Sony half-assed this. So, 2020, I'm leaning towards it, and I know a lot of people might be a little disappointed. They were thinking they were going to get new hardware next year, but I don't know. And, of course, I could be completely wrong. Maybe this job listing isn't exactly what I think it means. Maybe they removed that line because it was wrong, but then again, they kept literally the entire job description. They only removed the bit about next generation hardware because, well, next generation hasn't been announced yet. So maybe PlayStation is releasing in 2019 and everybody else is right about there being a meeting at the beginning of the year and it releasing at the end. But I don't know. Thinking about how much work this guy has to do, how long he's got to put together the team and talk to all their partners and develop a strategy to once again tell gamers why PlayStation is the best and where it's needed to, that's where you should play. That's a long time. So I see 2020 at this point as, well, the launching point of the PlayStation 5. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I'm really interested in seeing, your guys' takeaway about all this. Make sure you check out my last video about the culture of hate surrounding Xbox. I thought it was pretty good. Make sure you comment and all that stuff. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Hit the sub button if you're new to the channel. Hit the notification bell if you always want to be notified whenever you want to be notified whenever I drop new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.